Like I said, not a great set.
I can't hear anything.
No audio.
No.
Yeah.
Either that just. Mhm.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. From the Ryder household, we have Chef Jude. Good evening. And Beth Ryder.
Hi, everybody.
And tonight we have some very, very fun things that we're going to do, starting with margaritas. And then we're going to introduce some branding, some new branding that we're doing.
Yeah, and what are we gonna make tonight, Chef?
Well, we might as well spice things up with it. We're gonna do a jalapeno margarita.
Awesome, my
with some
favorite.
fresh squeezed lime juice.
Perfect.
Let's grab our ingredients. shall
Yeah,
we?
let's start with the margarita, guys.
So we're gonna have some tequila, Jose Cuervo, 1800. We are gonna go with the Reposado today. You can use an añejo, you can use a silver, anyone that you prefer. We are gonna need some triple sec. We're gonna need some agave nectar, a little bit of salt.
While we're doing this, while we're prepping this, let's educate us on what are the differences, nuances of the tequila.
Okay,
So we know, like.
so tequila runs in 3 different sections,
Okay.
right? Silver's your basic,
Okay.
Reposado's your second, añejo's your third, right?
Second, as far as taste, or tell me what do you mean first, second, third?
So
I'm
a
an novice.
silver is gonna be, it's going to be agave that is just fermented,
Okay,
okay? Reposado is gonna be agave that has been fermented and then aged slightly.
okay, good
So
to know.
Reposado is typically aged for less than 6 months.
All right,
Any añejo, which will be our next tier, will be aged for 6 months and beyond.
okay, and price goes up?
Absolutely, just like your whiskeys, just like your
Scotch.
scotch, which would be whiskey,
Whiskey.
same
Yeah,
thing.
bourbon.
Right, so your single malts, your bourbons, anything that's aged longer, your wines,
Right.
anything that's aged longer is typically gonna go up in price. The
Okay.
reason being is during the aging process, different things happen to the sugars.
Right,
So this, using Jose Cuervo, this has a like a caramel color to it.
yeah,
Secret, they add a little color, caramel coloring to this, not typically
Seriously?
from the aged barrels.
all right.
Okay, so if you were to buy,
Mm.
if you were to
A little
buy
tricked out, whatever.
like so Tres Amigos, which is a brand that's typically similar in price,
Right,
is going to be a better quality.
okay,
It'll be not as caramel colored. Does that make sense?
it does,
So it'll be clear, it'll be dark but clearer,
okay.
okay?
So still the same aging process, just not the
Correct.
right same color.
As far as the Reposado goes,
Got it.
right? So the silvers, like I said, it's just agave fermentation. So like wine, they ferment grape juice and then boom. So that's how it works. So with your Reposado, it's aged slightly. And then the añejo is aged longer, which becomes smoother in taste.
Right,
So any añejo will have a color to it, but it'll be a lighter color than the Reposado because during the time the color fades away.
good to know.
Okay, so if it all depends, right? So what do you want to do with your margarita, right? Us, we typically go where we want to go. This is a good brand. The 1800 as opposed to your traditional, can't say that, a traditional Jose Cuervo is a good tequila to use.
Okay.
That means the Jose Cuervo traditional is a good tequila. It's aged good. It's well made. Jose Cuervo by itself is your standard state-of-the-art make margaritas with it. This is gonna be a
level up.
tier up. Yep, absolutely. Any 1800 is gonna be a tier up, which means that they don't store them in the same area that they store the others.
Wait, it's a luxury brand.
That's correct.
And speaking of luxury brand, we're just gonna show you some of our new branding.
Yes, we are starting our new branding and we're gonna be rolling that out. We're gonna show you a couple updates today, but we're excited to roll out our new branding for the rider team tonight. All right, so let's kick off
So
our
when we
marketing.
make our margaritas,
That was just a commercial,
okay,
Jeff.
we want to go back and we want to make a luxury brand, right?
Let's-
That's what
absolutely.
we do. So let's get started. We're gonna need a shaker.
Absolutely,
All right.
get your shakers out.
So let's, first and foremost, we're gonna get our jalapeno.
My favorite part. Do you need a muddler?
We got one.
We got one, okay.
So we are going to take our jalapeno. We're gonna dice it up small, which means we're gonna cut it in half. We're gonna take the seeds out. If you want the seeds in there, it's all the spice, right? You want spicy, go
Like
ahead,
the spice.
make it spicy. So that's all depending on what you're doing and who's joining your company, because if everyone likes it spicy, we'll do so. So we're just gonna give it a nice little small dice because we're gonna muddle it anyway. And what we're gonna do is we're going to release the oils of this jalapeno. We're gonna get that spice out
Right.
as fast as possible so that way you get the flavor as well, right? So
And if you don't like spicy, you don't have to put the jalapeno in. That's a great thing. It can be added or not, right?
well, so here's the beauty, right? So in the process of what you're doing is we're muddling. We're gonna add that spice. We're gonna add the flavor of the jalapeno.
Right.
When we go to strain, we can either strain it
Okay.
or we can
Put
get
in
all
some
the
in a glass.
jalapeno in it. Absolutely. So it's all perfect. By muddling it, it does get the flavor of the jalapeno. So the jalapeno is a pepper that has flavor to it.
Right.
It can be and it can't be spicy. It's all just dependent on the jalapeno itself. So as opposed to a serrano pepper, this guy is always going to have heat, regardless of
always.
whatever. Absolutely. Our jalapenos, it's the luck of the draw. So we may get heat or we may not get heat, right?
Okay, good to know.
So we
Now,
got our-
and muddling it, you get more heat. So if you just want a little bit of spice, could they just slice up some jalapeno and put it in there? Would you have less heat?
So yes, as long as you take out the seeds, because the membrane, the veins of our peppers is where all the heat resides. People think that, oh, it's all in the seed. Well,
That's what you would think.
the seed is where it ends up. The vein is where
Really
all
the
the
spicy
heat is.
part.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Also, the vein is bitter. So like our bell peppers, we
Mhm.
want to take that out because it has a bitter flavor. We don't want to put that bitterness into our cooking or into our cocktail.
Absolutely.
That's why we always remove it so that way we're able to do so. So then what we're gonna do is once we've muddled up our jalapeno, we're gonna add some ice to our shaker. We're gonna get our little,
Are you guys all excited that we're starting tonight with the margarita? Instead of, we usually do that in the middle, so I'm super excited that we can start with that.
Yes, we got a cheers.
Yay. I know, usually you guys are starting yours way before we're starting ours, so we're starting with you. Where
well, traditionally with tacos,
you have.
we
to start
gotta get
drinking
started
early.
with some margaritas,
I
right?
love it.
All right, so we got
So Morton, I want to make sure you're
2 to
starting your
1.
margarita.
our triple sec. We're gonna add a little bit of our agave nectar.
Perfect.
We're gonna add our lime juice.
Okay, fresh squeeze,
Freshly squeezed.
courtesy of Jennifer Banks. Did she help? Oh,
She
didn't
put
do
the
it
lime,
tonight?
she put the limes on the table. I mean, I had to
Okay,
put a
she
little
got
more
it
muscle
started.
into it.
Gotcha. And by the way, shout out for Jennifer, who helps organize this. And then I think we had some other little helpers this week. We had Heather and Jillian also helped make sure that you guys all have your ingredients.
Excellent. So in this type of margarita, depending on what we're doing, if you're gonna do a sweet margarita, sugar the rim,
Okay,
because it complements your cocktail, right?
right?
Since we're gonna go more traditional, we want to salt our rim.
Yep.
So we have our margarita salt in a nice little dish here. If you don't have a dish like such, kosher salt would be the best thing to use.
Okay, you can just put it on a dish.
Just put it on a tiny, on a little plate. The easiest way to go about it is to take a lime like such, take your top, your bottom, then you'll cut it in half like this.
Okay,
And when you get to this stage, you'll then make a little set cut there. So when you go and make it, you can take it
Oh,
Put it on the
nice.
and
rim.
you can rim your glass. That's what you want to use as opposed to water.
like it.
Nice little salt there. Put a lime
Then you
there.
got your garnish,
Mhm.
ready?
And our shaker here.
Shake it up.
Shake, shake, shake. So they say that the reason you put cocktails into shakers is because the molecules change the flavor of the cocktail. So if you get a martini that's stirred, will be different than a martini that's been shaken. That's why people prefer them stirred or they prefer them shaken. So
Interesting.
with, here's how it works is the ice cubes that are in here has a surface, right? All of our alcohol that we've added to our margarita now has more surface space because there's more cocktails. As you shake it up, it cools it down faster.
Dang, I learn something every time we do this.
So we can, for this purposes, since we already,
Leave the jalapeno in there for Beth. Is that what?
that's what we're
Leave
doing.
it in.
You're the fan of it. So we're gonna go ahead. We can strain like we said. All our ice is in there.
Lots of little.
Wait a
jalapeno
minute,
in there.
Chef.
Whoa,
And
whoa,
there's
whoa.
more.
What?
You want a top shelf in?
A Cadillac.
Hey.
If you happen to
The
have
Grand
one of those
Marnier.
Grand Marnier.
It's gonna add what flavor to it?
A little more citrus.
A little more citrus. So a little more citrus to our spicy. So spicy sweet, I love that.
And it-
combination.
So the Grand Marnier adds a cap to it. It's like, they call it the Cadillac because it smooths over the sweet and the sour, right? So typically you would use a sweet and sour mix. You would use a margarita mix to make this. We did fresh lime juice, the
Right.
triple sec as a sweetener and the agave as a sweetener. So we've made our sweet and sour on its own in our shaker, topping it off with our Grand Marnier, only gonna take it to the next level.
Fantastic.
Go ahead, Beth, dive in
All
and see what you
right,
think.
all right. I'm gonna probably have salt all over my lips after this. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Usually, guys, I make a face after some of the drinks he pours me. Tonight, this is perfect. Do we get a thumbs up out there? Is anybody else liking their margarita? We want to show you something. Chef is gonna get started here in a minute. So we wanted to talk a little bit about our rebranding. The Ryder team is changing their logo. We're changing our colors. We're super excited. And we want to thank Tiffany Jeffers for helping us get this out there. We are really excited to bring this all to you guys. And we have a new marketing campaign, Say Goodbye to Moving Twice, because we're going to talk to you a little bit about the changing market. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but now we're going to actually get started with our dinner. Is everybody ready?
Carne Asada, Carne Asada.
Let's get rolling.
All right, so we are gonna do some Carne Asada tacos today. We have our beef, which would be a flank steak that we've chosen today. Typically with Carne Asada, they use skirt steak, which is
Okay.
a lesser cut of beef.
And is this
There's-
marinated?
Yep, we've already marinated for everybody, so that way it's easier in the process.
Perfect.
So it's all marinated in our recipe. If you've noticed, there's not a lot of oil to our marinade. The reason being is because once we've added our oil to our marinade and we throw it on the grill, the flames come up,
Okay.
right?
Good to know.
I typically don't add a lot of oil to my marinade, if not none, because I don't want to create a flame. I want it to sear. I want it to grill, right? So
You know
when,
what's funny is when you say that, if you're gonna use the package, like I'm a cheater, so I use the package, they always add oil,
correct, it always tells you to add oil.
right?
The
So
reason
we should-
being is why they tell you to add oil, so it doesn't stick to the grill. That's the trick.
But it's gonna create
What
more flame
happens?
and burn it.
It burns it, right? So it
Good to know.
burns instead of cooking. You want to cook the meat. You want to cook the meat evenly without creating a constant flame to it. What happens is it burns it at that point, and then you'll have the dark gristle and the black all the way around, and your meat's not really cooked,
Right,
So we want to make sure that we got this pulled out, that we're all ready to go.
right.
We are
Let's
going
get going.
to.
I love this too. What is that? Just shows how you're gonna cook that. on
So
there.
today, we're gonna stay inside. Typically, out on the grill is what we want to do.
Okay,
So if anyone's gonna be cooking out on the grill, go ahead, light your grills up, get them going, get them cooking hot. Our cooking today is gonna be fast. It's gonna be a hot temperature, right?
so are we, if we do go out on our grill and anybody's outside gonna grill it, would you just go on high right now?
Right now, we would get it going nice
Okay.
and hot. We want your grill to be as hot as possible,
Okay.
500 degrees, right? Where your thermometer's pinging past 500. That's how hot we want your grill, because it is a quick and fast cooking process due to the thickness of our meat.
Okay,
So
perfect,
that's marinated. It's coming up to room temperature.
got it,
We'll get that going. We're gonna move right on to our pico de gallo, our nice fresh pico de gallo.
perfect.
Very simple ingredients: Roma tomatoes, lime juice, cilantro, jalapeno, serrano peppers.
So real quick, you
Salt and
already
pepper.
have the tomatoes,
I got some diced. We'll show
you show
you.
us how?
Yep.
Okay.
And like we talk about all the time, it's what are we doing? What's our preparation, right? We got to think about it. So today we're going to go with a pretty small dice, and this would be like your traditional small dice, right?
Okay.
As opposed to a medium. So I have some tomato already cut, and what I've done is you can take out your stem like such. If you're not comfortable with using your knife like that, that's okay. You'll just cut that piece off, right? So it's really not a big deal. How we're gonna do is we're gonna go about 1/4 of an inch thick slices
Right,
all the way down the tomato. And then we're gonna take those slices and we're gonna go the same consistency this way
right,
and go the same consistency this way, which allows us to get a uniform cut. And that's what we're looking for. We want to remember it's going to fit onto a taco. So we don't want it to be too big
right.
to overtake our tortilla, right? Get to this end piece, you gotta be careful because that's seems a little tough.
Right,
So we got tomato there. The onion, the trick of the onion, remember this one?
yeah,
So here's the bowl. We want to cut off the end piece and then we cut it in half. We leave this piece intact because this will help us keep our onion intact
right,
when we go to make it as small as we want it. So just like the tomato, we determine on how big are we going to cut this. So once you have this piece, you're going to go make some slices into it, about 3/4 of the way down, and just
Mhm.
make little slices. And then this way we'll determine. The reason we make the slices is once we dice, it breaks up the onion.
right.
So this will determine how big our dice is going to be. Some onion in there.
I love the smell of onion. I don't know what it is, but I just love that smell.
As you're cutting it,
As I'm cutting it, I love the oils are released.
it's like a nemesis for me.
Oh, really?
Always gets
Oh,
me in
I
the
love
eyes. Makes me start crying.
it.
It gets me. So luckily today, I
You
didn't have to
got it.
embarrass myself and it's okay. So then we're gonna take a serrano.
So
Remember,
serrano, not jalapeno.
we're gonna do both.
Okay, good.
When using chilies like this, you want to be cautious, right? Because once we get in the oils, even on the outside, no rubbing of the eyes. So if you do your pepper first and then you do your onion and then you're trying it, you don't want to go that way.
Okay, so steer clear of the face when you're doing these.
After you cut the pepper, wash your hands.
Good
It
idea.
helps wash the oils. So what happens is the oils are absorbed into your skin. They don't combine, but they stay right on the top of it. So when you
Gotcha.
scratch your ear, pick your nose,
Oh,
anything,
of course, we're not doing any of that.
not right now, but I'm just saying, you want to be careful. So
You do.
if you do have gloves, I recommend using gloves for this
Good idea.
because it's safe. And you, like I said, you don't know, like, oh, I'll be fine. It's not going to burn your fingertips, but as soon as you scratch your eye, it's gonna
Right,
burn.
that's gonna,
So I cut the top off. I cut it in half long ways.
okay,
And then I take the knife and I run it on the veins, just the tip of the knife like this, so that way it allows you to pull those veins out without having to dig in with your fingers. See?
yeah.
Which saves your fingers in the end, because like I said, you don't remember, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy cow. Yeah, so you can leave it in. We'll take the seeds.
So we have the peanut gallery in the back, the girls that are helping with the back end saying, leave in the seeds.
Yeah,
So unless they're saying take them out.
so we'll compromise.
Compromise, a little bit of everything for everybody. Thank you for sharing, Erin.
We'll take the seeds out of the serrano since they are going to be hotter. The
Okay.
veins of that is going to be hotter than the jalapeno. And this guy, same thing, nice and small.
I can smell it.
Yeah, and
Woo, we can smell that.
so the flavor of your serrano is going
Yeah.
to be distinctively different than
Distinct.
your jalapeno.
Yeah, I mean that you really just even, you almost taste it. It's
Yeah,
so
I mean,
smell.
whew, it definitely's got some heat on
How
it.
are you guys? How's yours smelling? Pretty good, right?
So as our peanut gallery said, leave the seeds in.
Leaving them in.
So
Little
this
bit.
one, we're gonna leave the jalapenos in there. We're gonna make a small dice just as the same. All right. Got that.
You know what I love about pico de gallo is fresh. It's so fresh.
It's,
I mean, it's the best.
you get all of that freshness, right?
Freshness.
That's what it's all about.
Right. You can't, it's not canned, it's not jarred, it's just so fresh.
So that's one of the things that I like to, express about using fresh ingredients, the difference of it. You can buy pico de gallo at the store, but it's not going to be the same as what we're doing right here.
Absolutely.
You just get a whole different feel. You're going to get a whole different flavor from it, right? So now we got our tomato in there, we got our onion, we got our jalapeno, we got our serrano.
Okay.
We're going to take a lime.
Okay.
I'm going to squish it first.
Yep. Release the juices.
That's right. We're going to break up the segments that are in there.
Okay.
Put it in half. We're going to give a nice squeeze into it. Remember, if you don't have a nice, good, strong squeeze, get a pair of tongs. Put the tongs right here.
And then
Squeeze
squeeze
your
it.
tongs.
Got it.
Works perfect.
But also that rolling of the lime really helps to release the juices and make it softer.
Yeah, because
So it's easier to break it up.
Because what happens is you break up the segments.
Right,
You break up the flesh of the lime,
right.
so that way when you go to squeeze, you squeeze all the juice of it out.
Yep. Excellent.
And we're just gonna get a spoon. Nice little mix up. right here's where you can assess and go, how does it look? What are we thinking, right?
Right.
So right off the bat, what's our ratio? Do we have enough onions to tomatoes to peppers? Pico de gallo is not to be overpowering of each other, but helping each other's, all those ingredients helping complement each other.
Right, and the flavors kind of marinate together as you're stirring and letting that sit as we're gonna work on our carne asada.
Yeah, so if you, so making pico de gallo a day ahead of time is always better because then the
Good idea.
flavors are gonna marinate together.
Right.
And then when you go to use it, you're gonna recognize how different those flavors are, because you're gonna get them all in one bite.
Right. Well, it smells really good. It smells excellent.
What's next? Oh, we gotta add some fresh cilantro. That's what we need. So I got some. What's that?
So the question is, do you put your stem on for the cilantro?
So what we've done is we've taken off most of the stem, right?
Oh, okay, so did you cut it off at the
Yep.
initial? Okay.
So basically where the stem sticks out the most is where I hack it off. So like
Good to know.
the difference between cilantro and parsley with the stem is that a cilantro stem is not as bitter as a parsley stem. So yeah, just like the pith of our citrus or our chilies, removing them, right? So
Okay.
all we're doing is slightly taking out the ones that are bigger than others. So if it's gonna be a big stem in there, do you have to? Not necessarily,
Okay,
because you're not, when you go to eat it, it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be intrusive to the palate when you go to eat it.
got it.
So if it's anything that's like this, where removing a big stem like that
Right.
would be purposeful, then absolutely, that's what we want to do.
Okay,
So all we're doing is just picking through it.
getting all the big stems out.
Yep. And you see, just off of that, we've already took a big chunk of it off anyway.
Right,
So now what we want to do is we want to get our cilantro. We're gonna tightly ball it up. We're gonna put it to the tightest little ball
just kind of squeezing it together and then rolling it a little bit.
into the smallest little ball that we can get it. So as we cut, it'll be as fine as we need it to. And same thing, so just like our onion and our tomatoes, depends on how chunky do you want it, right?
Right,
It all depends. What do you, what are we trying to do? Do you want the cilantro to stand out? Is your pico de gallo going to be a predominant cilantro flavor? With
Right.
pico de gallo, you typically want it to be fairly neutral. You want the tomato, you want,
the onion, the jalapeno,
Uh-huh.
serrano pepper,
Everything
everything to
else.
kind of blend together.
and then to finish it off, all we need is a little bit of salt and pepper.
Smells amazing.
Yeah, that cilantro.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, for me, it's one of my favorites. That freshness. I think fresh herbs all in all,
Right,
whether it's basil, cilantro, thyme, rosemary, just smells delicious.
right.
So, Steph, I have a question.
We have a
So-
question.
So if I wanted to make guacamole, could I just essentially throw this into mashed avocados?
So if you were to make guacamole, yes, you could do this exactly the same, right? I would, so ratio, if we were to have 3 avocados, I would only use probably a half a cup of our pico de gallo to start.
So more avocado than pico
Well,
de gallo.
so guacamole is avocado, right?
Which is
But it
okay.
has all the ingredients: tomato, onion, cilantro, lime.
Okay,
We've added the jalapeno to kick it up a notch.
but it
and
still
the
would be good
serrano.
in the,
Absolutely. So when I make fish tacos, I make my pico de gallo,
Mhm.
and I'll take like tilapia or cod or haddock, any
Mhm.
white fish really, and I season it up and then I'll cut it into little chunks and I'll pan fry it and
Okay.
throw my pico de gallo in when I'm pan frying.
Oh, kind of marinating in
Oh
that.
my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
So that's a nice little handy dandy trick there that talk about infusing flavors and all the aromas.
Right, especially a fish. that is-
Combining it all. It's versatile,
Yeah,
right? So it's gonna
absolutely. It's good.
incorporate all
all the
that.
flavor.
So that way it'll be different as opposed to just having it on top of the fish.
Right,
The fish itself will be a better product than just seasoning it and grilling it or baking it.
absolutely. It's
chopping it.
much more flavorful
Mhm.
and fresh. Like the fresh part is what I love.
Oh, it's amazing, right? So
All right, so this is now gonna sit and marinate. We have everything in it?
Lime juice.
Lime juice.
give that a stir.
All right. I don't know about you guys, but this is looking pretty good for dinner.
How are we doing at home? Everyone doing okay?
Is everybody keeping up? Or do you
Any
need-
questions? So pico de gallo is a salsa,
Yes.
right? It's a fresh salsa. Salsa is consistent of ingredients that are diced small, blended together, whether it's mangoes, pineapples, tomatoes.
Love that.
So bruschetta, which is Italian
Yeah.
salsa, because it's all the same ingredients. We've replaced the cilantro with oregano and
Okay.
basil, which then gives us
A little
a
different flavor.
bruschetta. Absolutely.
So if I was gonna make this at home, how many days would this be good in my refrigerator?
7 to 10 days.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you put it in a sealed container?
Just like a normal, anything that you can seal and wrap.
Ziploc or something
You
like
can
that?
put it in a bag if you'd like. So what happens is the tomatoes are gonna lose the water. So they'll
Okay.
lose liquid. So
So to get a little runny in there? Okay,
slightly, not too much, but you don't want to lose that either.
right,
Right,
that's
so-
flavor.
Using that, but when you're going to serve it on top of tacos, you don't want to give it that wateriness over your tacos. So definitely, if you're going to put it out into a dish to be served, you could strain that off and it'll be totally okay.
Perfect.
Mhm.
So I love that. So you could keep in your fridge. Awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, you make it a day, 2 days, 3 days ahead of time. You'll see as it sits, more liquid is drained from the tomato, and you'll take it from there.
Perfect.
Mhm.
All right,
We ready to carne asada?
let's do it.
All right, so
And
Let's-
maybe just a little sip of your drink. So good.
So we're gonna get this guy nice and hot, okay? So this is just a cast iron pan,
Okay.
essentially. It's a grill. It has both sides, so it does have a grill grate on one side. So if you were to grill inside your house, we can do so. For the purposes of today, we want to keep it on the flat side because we're gonna sear, we're gonna remove it, we're gonna chop up the meat, and then we're gonna sear it again.
Okay,
So.
so we're gonna sear it, then we're gonna chop it, and then we're putting it back on.
Uh-huh. Because
that.
carne asada has a crispiness to it. That's what it is. It's not a steak taco, because a steak taco would be just grilled beef, then cut up and then put into your tortillas.
Okay, now I'm thinking about that. Say that one more time.
Okay.
What's- Why?
The difference with the crispiness is we cut it up and then we sear it again.
Okay, because we're searing it twice.
So
We're
it's-
getting that second
It's
layer.
able to caramelize on bits and pieces as opposed to just two sides.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
So
All
let's
right.
get this guy nice and hot. And we could use oil. Our marinade is already oiled, so I don't think that we need to add any more to
Okay.
it. I think what we've got there is enough. Like I said, if you're using it on the outside grill, less oil is better. Because you'll notice once you put meat, whether it's chicken, beef, pork, out on the grill that has an open flame, it just catches on fire. The
Right.
oil is what starts on fire, and then it has that black sheen to it that doesn't really have any flavor.
Right, right. Yeah, we don't want the char. In other words,
Well, we want a char, but not like that,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Because it's a difference. There's there's a char from the flame cooking and caramelizing the protein
Okay.
as opposed to burning the protein. So when the oil's on the protein, it burns it as opposed to caramelizing. The
Gotcha.
sugars aren't extracting at a slower rate when that flame's constantly hitting that protein.
Got it.
And all
Alright.
it is burning off the oil.
Right.
Just like if you were to put gasoline on a fire, wood that's wet, once that gasoline's
Right.
gone, the wood's not really going to stay lit, right? So the
Right.
same concept when you're adding oil to it.
Perfect. Love it. I always love to understand how it all works, just so when I do cook, I can make it. Steve is laughing in the background. This
There was
is my
There
chef.
was that one time.
One time.
That's not true. There was 2 times. So one, like I said, we want to get this thing nice and hot. Well, we're almost there. Because we're gonna sear. So we're gonna need some tongs in this guy. So we're just fine. Grab us a plate, Dad.
Absolutely.
So we're just wanting to get a nice sear on there. We're not wanting to cook it all the way through. We want to cook it to about a good medium. So then that way when we chop it up, we're not going to dry it out once we put it back on. So you can see we're getting a nice good sear. If we look at the flesh, we're not even halfway cooked through yet, so let's not flip it quite yet.
It's a very thin steak.
Yep.
So a very thin cut.
Cut of meat.
Yeah.
And you see how we got a nice good caramelization
Oh, yeah.
there? Nice hot. That's what we're looking for.
Kind of interesting doing this inside. I guess I never really think about it.
So a piece of equipment like this is great to do fish, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because fish is so delicate.
Mhm.
If we're doing fish out on the grill,
Right.
you could just scoop it and lose half
Lose
the
half it.
fish.
I know.
Right.
That's an expensive proposition there.
Especially if you're going to do halibut, right?
Right.
That's an expensive proposition. So this is
This is great for that. I
a
love
good
that.
unit for that. And today's purpose is perfect because if you were to go to a taqueria,
Mhm.
the taco shop, as they call them,
Yep.
they're typically doing something exactly like this.
Right. Right. Because they're not going off the backyard grill. They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And it's carne asada is all about the caramelization. It's
Right.
getting the caramelization. So it's the marinade and then the high heat to get that caramelization.
Right.
So we're gonna want to spread this out a little bit. You see how much moisture that we're losing and we're building?
Yep.
It's losing the temperature. So we're gonna make sure that we can keep the temperature of our cast iron as hot as possible.
Got it.
So as they start to finish up, how's it smelling at home, everyone?
Oh my God, smells amazing here. Any questions about cooking the beef? Whether it's tri-tip, skirt steak,
Yeah, anything.
anything.
So
That's as long as it's a thin cut.
it's a thin cut. The
That's
carne asada is a thin cut of beef that is grilled typically
Okay.
and cut and then grilled
Grilled again.
again. Right.
really
And you
great.
can't throw cut meat onto an open flame grill, right? It's just not gonna happen.
Absolutely.
So that's why when you get it from the taco shop, they grill, either it's on the char broiler or on a flat top like this, and
Right.
then they pull it off, they cut it up, and then they sear it again. How's it going in the market?
Looks really good. The market is changing, everybody. We are seeing the inventory climb with the interest rate. Obviously, we all know there's inflation happening out there right now. So now would be a great time if you're looking to buy a home, you're buying an investment property. We'd love to see you out there because you can actually win something right now. And if you've been thinking or experiencing the home builders that they have no inventory, that is completely changing. They have no more lines, no more wait lists, and you're able to actually buy a new build if you want, which is fantastic. And we can help navigate you through the home builders to find the right home. So we're super excited about that. This couldn't last forever, right? It's been really tough to be a buyer in this market, and we want to help you definitely navigate through it because it is changing, and it's going to be a great opportunity this summer to definitely win a property. Oh, and Steve's coming in with the branding again.
Speaking of changing, did I mention we're changing our branding? And the reason we're doing this, guys, is we want to come to you more from the heart and give you all the opportunities, not only for you, but for your family, for your friends. And quite candidly, I mean, the market is changing.
So our old logo.
Old logo.
And now these are our new colors. And I guess we'd love some feedback. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let us
Thumbs
know what
up,
you think.
thumbs down.
So we're actually getting new aprons so we can have a little variety with our new logo too. So we wanted to make sure we showed you guys a little preview tonight. And Chef has got it for me.
But wait a minute, we're also going to be sending out in the next couple of weeks our new website for new home construction and design. We think it's America's best website for new home search and design. So we're going to send it to you. And if you give us feedback, we'll give you a $25 gift certificate for Starbucks.
That'd be great.
Or should we do Amazon?
I think Amazon actually might be better, but you know what? Maybe they can pick.
Yeah, and we just want your feedback, guys. Tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We've got a lot of great tools for you. Coming your way.
Looking forward to it. Happy to let us know your thoughts. We want to hear it. All right, let's get back
From a commercial break,
Right.
we're here to flip the carne asada right on cue. See how we have a nice
caramelized.
conversation,
There you
right?
go.
That's what we want. So I can feel this guy still needs just a little
That's a
more
little
time.
thicker than all the other.
Yep,
pieces.
just a little more time, which isn't too big of a deal. We're gonna slightly turn down the temperature.
You're a little slower cut.
Yeah, just because what we want to do. So another thing, my rule of thumb in my house is tortillas never go in the microwave.
That's a good rule of thumb.
I'm just
They get
saying,
a little bit
they rubbery.
Rubbery.
No. Tortillas have to be
stiff.
warmed up on the stove top, whether it's in a pan. I have a designated tortilla pan. That's been a pan that's got abuse over the years. I said, that's the tortilla pan. It's perfect. It can't make a pancake anymore, but it can do tortillas.
Okay.
So we
Doesn't
do
have to be
that.
perfect.
That's right. Because the difference is when you reheat a tortilla on a pan on the open flame, it doesn't get rubbery. Brings
Yeah.
it back to life just as if it was freshly made. So
I do
that
think that is a
that
good
is a
point.
huge
And it's
difference.
nice when it's warm and
It's the whole ticket,
yeah, the
right?
whole thing. It
ticket.
just makes the whole meal better.
Absolutely. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna clean off a little section of our grill here
Oh, for the
for our tortillas, right?
Gotcha.
Okay, so I got my heat turned down a little bit. We're gonna
Gotcha.
wanna not continue to fry this pan
Okay.
because we're gonna throw the beef back on.
Right.
So we're gonna let this sit here for just a second. Like we said, we seared. We're gonna chop, so we're just gonna slice it up.
Nice strips, just thin, so it's easy to eat on your
The tortilla,
tortilla.
but then we're gonna dice as well, so it's gonna be even
Oh.
easier
Okay.
to eat when we go to make our tacos, right? That's the important piece. When you go to eat a taco, you don't wanna
Right.
pull out
Pull
a
it out.
strip of
Yeah.
beef and then you lose all your
Hard
taco
to
meat.
chew. Yeah.
You
You
don't
want it
want
to be
that.
easy.
You don't
Perfect.
want that.
Make sure if you need another margarita, shake
Go
it
for
up.
round 2.
Shake it up.
We have to have a little fun here, right?
That's, if we're not having fun, then we're not doing it right.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
We hope you guys have all your friends over. Everybody's just having a great time tonight. Thumbs up out there. If you're having fun.
Sharon Gambino said that they are enjoying it.
Good.
How about Marianne? Is Marianne on? From Trilogy?
Christina said Beth's husband is hilarious.
He is a funny man.
Comments too.
Yay!
So with carne asada, it's really in the marinade. It's got a spicy, it's got a little citrus to it. Like I said, it's the caramelization, right? So we've already seared it. It's pretty much cooked almost all the way through. And now we're gonna throw it back on to sear it again. We're gonna
Right, get it on
caramelize
both
it
sides.
more.
Get it on all sides.
Yeah.
Because now it's all chopped up and yeah, looks amazing.
So
Smells amazing.
go ahead. and Look at our pans.
I
nice
know,
and hot.
nice and hot.
Dump it right back on.
Fantastic. I don't know about you guys at home, but this is one of our favorite meals. We love everything Mexican. It's some Mexican cuisine. It's flavorful. It's just so many flavors going on.
Yeah, like you said, you like it to be a little spicy, it can be spicy. You want it to be more spicy, it can be that too.
Yep.
If you want it to be mild, you can make it that way.
Right, but you're still having that fresh ingredients, which I love about this type of dish.
Yeah, because like you said, we're highlighting beef with tomato and onions and jalapeno,
Exactly.
serrano, cilantro, and lime, right?
Right.
So all we're doing is we're taking a steak and we're chopping it off. We're caramelizing it more. We're extracting the sugars from the protein itself.
Right.
And then we're putting it in a tortilla with the other delicious ingredients.
Right.
Voila.
Perfect.
That's right. How's everyone doing at home? Any questions?
Is your dinner coming along just like hers? Oh, are people eating already?
Good. If you're not sampling on the way, you're not cooking right. Isn't that right,
That
Beth?
is very true.
So we're getting a nice little sear going on in here. And you see on our grill, see all the sugars
Yeah.
that we're taking out. So when you do your marinades as well, you want to try not to add a lot of
Right.
sugar. I mean, typically you really wouldn't add any sugar. You let your marinade itself have the sugar in it. If you're gonna go Asian cuisine, you might add a little bit of honey.
Okay.
In ours, we could have added a little bit of the agave,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But
good
you want to
idea.
be careful because those two are gonna char on the grill, right? So the sugars are flammable, just like your oil is. So by, like I said, chopping it up, and you can see how the meat is starting to char up
Right.
all around so that way that's what we're getting that true carne asada. How's that margarita? Delicioso?
Delicious.
Excellent.
Just nursing it, but it's very good. Just have a little jalapeno.
So we're gonna let that just do its thing for a moment while we grab some of our tortillas. We got some nice little street taco
Oh, love the little one.
versions. You gotta use something that's just a soft, right?
Right.
Super soft. When eating carne asada, when eating tacos, I have to have a corn tortilla. That's just my preference. I know some say that a flour, that's okay. But for me, if it's not on a corn tortilla, it's not a real taco. That's just my thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put two little guys down together. Put two little guys down together. Pop this around.
Smells amazing. Like, I'm getting hungry.
That's my cologne. It's
Carne asada.
no, this side of the border.
Oh.
It's my newest,
New-
my
new,
newest release.
release.
Yeah.
Let's see if your wife
For,
likes that
for the
one.
light of, the light of meal for the month of May.
Oh, yes, speaking of which, this is our little post Cinco de Mayo dinner. We didn't want to interrupt everyone else with Cinco de Mayo, so we decided to do this just a little bit later.
That's all right.
Yeah,
But like we said, it's tacos, right? Everybody loves tacos.
and it's great to feed your family. The kids love
Oh my
them.
goodness.
Everybody who comes over loves them.
No matter where you come from and you visit Arizona, you gotta eat some tacos. And if you're coming from out of state, far away, you gotta try some carne asada tacos or carnitas, which is pork, kind of similar style cooking. Just can't discount it. Like Beth said, it's delicious ingredients, nice and fresh. And it just fills your belly full of happiness. All right, let's turn this guy low. We got
Ooh,
some
looking good.
tacos. We
I
got
put
our
a plate over there.
perfecto.
While
Nice.
we're wrapping this up, we have next month our Argentinian beef skewers with chimichurri sauce. So that is up and coming. We think it's gonna be June 23rd, but we're gonna let you know for sure. And I'm forgetting, what is the name of our cocktail? Argentinian sunrise. It's gonna have gin, a little bit of strawberries in it. And then there's another mixer that I'm not sure how to say it. Terrence wines, a white wine with it. Alcohol, and strawberries, in other words.
Drunken
But this is what we're
strawberries.
making. So we're excited, so join us. We'll confirm that date and get it out to everybody.
Yeah, and if you've never had fresh chimichurri,
Oh, and that's
You wanna
right,
talk about-
chimichurri.
you want to talk about freshness.
That is
That
good.
is fresh at its finest.
All
So all
right,
I've done
here we
here is
go.
I've got some avocado. All I've done here is I've taken my knife, I've ran the blade all the way around like such, right on the seed, to then open up an
Oh,
avocado.
nice.
Take the tip of the knife.
God, I always, look, when you do this trick, I love it. I never would have done it this way. I always have to pull it out of there first and then I chop it.
And then you
Makes
just
it so
run
much
the
easier.
back of it right along the skin. And you have nice
Perfect.
slices like such. So we got that. All right, let's build, shall
Let's
we?
plate it up.
So we have our nice soft corn tortillas.
All right.
We're gonna take a little bit of our carne asada. Here like such. We're gonna take our fresh pico de gallo. Nice little spoon there. Here. I'm gonna take, I'm just gonna go one per.
You always make them look so good, like they just look so much better. When you
What day?
decorate it.
You eat
plate
with
it.
your eyes, right?
You do.
And then we have some nice queso fresca.
Oh, yeah.
So this is some traditional Mexican cheese. Right on top.
Which is so, this looks so good.
You want to make sure that you serve with the lime. You can use a wedge, you can use a slice. You can do a twirl. So we can just twirl in the middle if we wanted to. You can serve it with some wedges on the side. And
Fantastic.
you're ready to dive in.
Wow, that looks amazing.
Any questions, anyone?
How about sharing some pictures? Are you guys
Yeah,
ready
it's
to
all
share your
about sharing the
pictures?
pictures.
You guys, you've been, go ahead and dig in. This is the absolute best. Oh my, I can't wait. Chef, you've outdone yourself.
It's just tacos.
It's just tacos,
You
but
make
they're
it seem so
amazing.
easy.
And delicioso, right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Well, thank you all for joining. We're so excited that you guys all joined us tonight. We are really excited to see as things are going to change in the market. Give us a call. Reach out to us at any time. We're happy to help. And anything else?
We're
to add?
always there for you guys. We're always there bringing in new programs on a regular basis.
Right.
We've got Cash is King coming. So make sure you tune into that
And
because we know what cash is king.
that's right. And we can help you in any market. So as the market changes, stays the same, anything that's happening out there, we can help educate you on how to win a property. Chef,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Hey,
for joining
thank you
us.
so much. It's always a
Appreciate
pleasure. If anyone ever has any cooking questions, any tips or techniques that they'd like to know about, DM me on my Facebook page at
Oh,
Chef
fantastic.
J Vangelis.
And do you have it? The information's on there?
The information's right there.
And good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you. Adios. Buenas noches.
Buenos noches.